Hey everybody, welcome back to Trinity Dairy. Don't forget to hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment down below. We always enjoy reading them. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Check out our merch store if you're interested in any of our Trinity Dairy merchandise. We work with a local print shop around here that has a really nice online store for that stuff. So if you get some merch, it helps us out a little, and it helps out a small local business too. So I know they really appreciate it too. And thanks everybody who has gotten stuff. We really appreciate that as well. Speaking of merchandise, I want to thank Aaron Gearock. He sent us all a bunch of the really nice Gearock Farms hats. So I really appreciate that. If you don't know their channel, I'm sure you probably all do, but if you don't, it's Gearock Farms. So go over and check them out and subscribe to them if you haven't done so. Today is March 10th, 2024. It's a Sunday today. So really not going to be doing anything more than just our basic chores around the farm. Right now we're going to pop in the barn. The cows are still in this morning. I got a cow that's getting kind of close to calving, so we're going to check on her. She didn't really have anything going on during milking this morning, but you never know. Also got a cow we dried off this morning and kicked her out back with the dry cows. So they're going to be going out today. So the cows go in the barn. They stay, right now they're still staying in the barn overnight. They're getting corn silage out of the silo yet. It's easiest for me to feed that in the barn. And I'm just finishing up on the wrapped hay, the round bales that I had, the baleage. So now pulled the feeder wagon down here. I put in some of that hay that I bought from Ray, the small squares, and we pull that out, and that kind of supplements, because some of the baleage that I'm feeding now and the dry hay I have is kind of some poorer stuff. So that good hay from Ray will kind of supplement that. So we'll get some video of feeding hay and doing some of that stuff. Also going to show you the new sap cooker that I'm working on building. I was going to get some video of working on it yesterday, and I kind of forgot. I kind of got into the flow of working on it, and I just totally spaced out having the camera running, but I can show you what I've done there. So anyway, we'll pop in the barn and check on that cow first. Well, pop in the barn. I don't see any calving action, but Connie here, she's getting close. You can see she's filling up her udder nice. She's due any day here now, but I'm going to. Looks like they got their silage excuse me, pretty well cleaned up, so we will get down some hay and get the cows out so they can get out on pasture. I've been letting them out every day now. It's been so nice and warm during the day. They've been regularly going out. I could probably let them out at night. The nights have still been maybe a little bit cold for that. Just more so that I worry about the pipes, the water in the barn freezing up, because it gets down to the mid-teens yet at night. But it works good to feed them that silage in here anyway when it's coming out of the silo, because otherwise I got to wheel it outside into the skid steer. So, and I mentioned out in the intro that we had dried off a cow. I was going to talk a little bit about that. When we dry them off, so you dry them off usually 2 months before they're going to calf. That means you quit milking them. It lets their body kind of reset, and so when they freshen, when they have their calf, their body can go back into full milk production. If you just kept milking them straight through, they might pick up a little bit of milk when they calf, but they'll pretty much just keep drying up. They won't come back into full production, and I think it's nice to give them a rest from being milked and get them outside. They're outside with the other ones, and kind of a good thing to do. And it's like I said, you're not going to get the production out of them if you don't do that anyway. So we used to dry treat with an antibiotic every cow we dried off. That's a tube of antibiotic you would put up each quarter of the udder. We kind of got away from that. We didn't really notice. We noticed they were still coming in with mastitis when they would freshen, and that stuff is really expensive, and it's kind of risky, you know. I mean, we have a tester, so before any cow that's been treated with that would go into the bulk tank, that milk gets tested first, so we know that it's good, so that there's no antibiotic in it. Contrary to what you might hear, that your milk has antibiotics in it, it doesn't. Justin, our oldest boy, is allergic to antibiotics, and we drink our milk out of the tank, so for us it's especially important that it doesn't. And if it does get in the tank and gets in the truck, when they test it at the creamery, they'll track it back to you because they test each tank full and you have to buy the whole tanker load, and we definitely don't want to do that either. Now, if we do have a cow that's like a higher somatic cell count or something like that, that we want to try to treat during her dry off period, we will use the antibiotic on them. So we kind of do a selective dry cow treatment. But one thing that I've found that I like that we've started using is this external teat sealant, this T-Hex it's called. Leave down in the comments if you've ever used that or anything like it, or what you use. I know a lot of a popular teat sealant is the ones that you put up in the end of the teat, and it kind of like a silicone and seals the teat off from the inside. I don't know. I've tried a couple different kinds of them, and I wasn't happy with them. You had a lot of that residue coming out in the milk, you know, throughout the lactation for a long time. The one cow that I treated with it, I think it kind of plugged up maybe even some of her milk ducts up inside, because she had kind of a puffy quarter after that. And I tried, you're supposed to kind of pinch off the teat at the base, so you're just putting it, you know, in the teat canal, not up into the udder, but still seemed to get up in there. And I don't know, I just wasn't happy with them. Some people I think have good luck with them, and that's great. For us it didn't work that well. But I've used that T-Hex in the past. I couldn't get it for a while, but now IBA was able to get it for me, and we really like it. It seems to really help seal that up, especially with cows out on pasture. They get in a mud hole or something, or in the dust, and you're kind of sealed up there. So like I said, leave it in the comments what you use or what you do, if you do antibiotics or don't do any, or and whatever. But yeah, let us know on that. All right, I'm going to fire up the little bee farm all here. I'm going to start it sitting in the seat this time, because the last time I started this, I was standing on the ground here. Your starter is right here. And the comments that I got, none of them were meant to be mean or anything, and none of them came across that way. I know that. People are just concerned about safety. And the reason is because I think probably most or all of the people that commented about that have either had a tractor take off or known somebody that's gotten hurt or possibly even killed by doing that. By standing on the ground, starting the tractor, it was left in gear, and the tractor started, and it took off, because that's what can happen. I understand that, and I sympathize with that. People that have had that, that's a terrible thing. I always check, make sure it's out of gear. You saw me wiggle the shifter before I tried to start it. The John Deere, I've done the same thing with that. I've started that from the ground. Always make sure that one, the shifter's in park. You know, maybe it's a bad habit to do that, but I guess I've gotten into the habit of making sure that it's safe to start before I even do it. Now, this little farmall, somebody had left a comment a couple videos before saying that something like first rule in 4-H tractor safety was never start a tractor unless you're on the seat. This little farmall, if you have to crank start it, you have to be in front of the tractor. You cannot crank start it from the seat. So you have to make sure that everything is safe, that it's out of gear. It does have electric start, but there's been times in the past where the battery was drawn down or something like that was going on with the starter. I needed the tractor, so you crank start it. So I think that's, to me, the bigger thing is to make sure that every tractor, before you start it, is safe to start, whether it's on the ground or not on the ground. That's just, I guess, the way I was raised to check it over. So I understand everybody's concern and everybody's pointing that out, and I'm not complaining about that, but I'm just clarifying how I do it and why I do it. And, you know, that's just try to be safe with whatever you're doing. But anyway, we'll fire it up here and we'll go out and get the feeder wagon and get the cows some hay. Had one go astray on me, but that was my fault. I set it on the ladder the wrong way. Makes a difference which side of the bale goes down the ladder. But that works pretty good. I should maybe figure out some way I could hook it up on the wagon and slide them right into the wagon, but for now this works all right. Show you this hay. This is some beautiful stuff here. I don't know what his secret is to getting all them leaves in the bale, but it seems like every time I try to square bale alfalfa, most of the leaves wind up sliding up the chute under the bale. But this stuff's definitely got the leaves in it. Must be king of the hill. I don't think that one would let him in. As long as we're out in the pasture here, I wanted to talk about this old Case combine a little bit. I get a lot of people asking about it. It doesn't run. It ran really good. We used it actually up at the corn cribs for shelling corn. That was the last time we used it, and covered the exhaust. Well, I had a chain come off and it plugged, so we got it all cleaned out. Parked it here, covered the exhaust. Come back, I think it was like a year later or so, I was going to fire it up and move it, and motor was stuck. Can was all still on there. I don't know what happened, but it also had all the coolant had gotten into the oil. So I don't know if there's a crack in the engine. It wasn't overheated, anything like that. So I don't know. I've drained it all out. I've dumped some, put some different stuff in the cylinders to try to loosen it up, and I haven't had any luck getting it loosened up. It's a 660 case. Also, one of the shakers in the back, that was when we were still using it for small grain, had started coming apart, so one of them is bad. But otherwise, the transmission and everything was good. The head, it has actually a Dakin pickup on it, and I really liked that pickup. It did a really nice job. It's got a rubber block with a plastic finger that's in there to pick up the grain. The only issue is I think most of the fingers are on there, but I don't know if you can get replacement ones for it or not. Some of you might know that. But anyway, I'm looking to get rid of it. I don't want to send it to the scrapyard because, you know, parts can be worth something to somebody if you've got one of these you're still using. But it's just going to sit here and get worse. We've got my dad's big combine, so I'm not going to use it. It always was in the shed until a few years ago when we got that big picker. Well, then the shed came down anyway, so we don't have a shed for it, and I just hate seeing it sit here. I want to get it out of the way. So if anybody out there is interested in it, shoot us an email. As far as price, I don't have any idea. I guess if somebody's interested in it, we can kind of work that out if you want to send an email or whatever. I don't have any way to haul it, so that would be up to you. I mean, we've got equipment around here to load it. I'm sure we could get it loaded. The head is down. I was thinking about hooking up the tractor to the hydraulics to see if I could lift the head to pick the head up. So it could be moved, but it's just kind of getting sunk in here, and it's a shame, but that's the way it is. It does, a radiator on there is not the original radiator. That was replaced with something else just because we weren't going to use it out in the field anymore. And we needed, so the shroud and everything isn't on there. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. I know a lot of people have asked about it, so if anybody's interested about it, shoot us an email. Well, that should show you how cows can really notice things, how good their senses are, because I had this camera sitting on this old plow here to watch the wagon. And I think the second cow up here spotted this camera. So they're them to notice anything different, they'll pick it up right away. All right, we're here in front of the shop now. I figured I'd show you. I was talking about the maple syrup cooker that I'm working on. I got this stove from my uncle. I had it here in the garage, but it didn't really work that good for heating the garage. And I'd like to run a line from my wood boiler eventually and just heat it with that. But I need to get a better door on the front first. But anyway, so he didn't need it. He said, go ahead and take it if we can make use out of it. So I kind of partially put it back together since I didn't get any video yesterday. Once we got in the groove of working on this thing, we just kept going, and I didn't even think to grab the camera. But so anyway, that's pretty much what it looked like. Had a hole in the top for like duct work. There was a hole in the bottom on the other side where you'd put like a blower fan. And then there's a little vent down there or whatever. A little chimney pipe out the back. So, and I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to leave the sides on it. I took them all off. I'll show you that. I'll take them all off and show you what we did. But we'll take the top tin off because that's going to be in the way. And I might have to cut the sides down. But I'm thinking that having the sides on there will also kind of help keep the heat concentrated more on the sap pans. But I'll get the tin off and we'll kind of show you what we did. All right, so here it is, a little more stripped down. So this was a fully round firebox. I cut these two grooves in it so you can set your pans crossways in there. I measured out our pans, and they should fit in there. I might have to trim up the edges a little. But it's got ash grate. It's got an ash pan underneath, fire brick down there. So it should hold a pretty good jag of wood. The pipe comes out the back. Now, one thing that I got looking at, got the holes all cut, got it cleaned out yesterday. I might have made a little mistake on, so we might have to kind of revamp it. I left about an inch of steel here because our pans have a lip on them that hangs over. But I'm worried that maybe I got that too close. I'm hoping I still get enough draft out of the pipe. Otherwise, I might have to add on to this and trim this center back a little bit more to move that pan away, or maybe move my pipe down, or I could put some kind of a box on the back. So I guess we'll have to see how that works. I thought of that after I got it cut out of there. I thought maybe I should have had that further forward. But otherwise, I think it's going to work pretty well. There's a lot of you that do a lot more maple syrup. This is only our second year. So kind of new at this, but really didn't want to spend $300 or $400 for a little barrel stove cooker. And I don't know how long those barrel stove ones, how long the barrels last. I mean, it's not hard to come by barrels, but where this is actual, you know, it's pretty thick steel, and it's made for higher heat. and I'm going to put a damper in it. Somebody had messaged on our other one about how much a damper helps. We do kind of have a damper on the other one. We've got a plate of steel on the top that we can kind of adjust, but I'll put a regular damper on this one. And then, like I said, have the sides on it. I might cut the sides down so they'll direct that heat. There shouldn't be a lot of heat loss down here because this has got the fire brick in it, but it does have a little blower fan on it, and that works. So I don't know, I think it's going to work pretty well. A lot of you that do a lot of sap and have a lot more experience with it than we do, let us know what you think. If you think this is going to work, if there's anything you would do different or add to it or take off of it, just leave a comment. I'll take all the ideas we can get. But yeah, just leave a comment and let us know what you think. So hopefully the sap is still running. It's still good yet. We're still cooking with our little one. I don't know. It kind of looks like that might keep up for a little while yet. It looks pretty cool at night and warming up good during the day. Some days it really runs. Some days it's been kind of slow, but if it keeps going long enough, she's got a couple pans ordered for this. I'm hoping to try it out yet this year, but it kind of depends on what the sap does. So we'll look forward to that in the future if we can hopefully try it out yet this spring. Well, got the cows in for evening milking. The kids had 4-H tonight, so they got the cows in, some of the calf chores done before they left, so I'm on my own milking tonight. Connie here is outside all day, but no calf yet. She is looking pretty uncomfortable though, so I'm kind of thinking maybe sometime tonight she'll go. So anyway, we'll start the evening milking here and get some footage of that for you. Well, that's about going to wrap up Sunday on the farm. The kids got back from their 4-H meeting. Jessica's just finishing up bedding the cows, and you guys got the outside calves all fed.
Yep.
So we're going to head up and get some supper and probably call it a day. We want to thank everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Well, it's May 11th, and she finally calved. She didn't go yesterday, but she's picked a nice spot up on the hill today.